My biggest takeaway from today's roundtable discussion is the fact that we've created a massively sustainable environment of exceptional value for the residents here in Greenford.
So from my perspective, which is legal, volumetric construction reduces the number of delays on projects, which means there are less claims under the contract. There's more certainty in terms of cost, and that I think is the greater benefit, legal benefit of volumetric construction.
I think we all have slightly different perspectives as architect, as contractor, as manufacturer, and as end client. But we all, I think, really were aligned with the positives and the benefits of delivering projects in this way.
We have a really good relationship with Tide and HTA. We've worked successfully on the project for a number of years, and we'll carry that forward onto future projects.
The great thing about working with this particular system, the Vision system, is that it is incredibly flexible. So it doesn't constrain our design process. It does enable us to deliver really great housing, great places and great homes for people to live in. And one of the main benefits really of working within the modular system is the speed by which we can deliver those homes.
We get first units much more quickly than we would with traditional forms of contract, with practical completion also coming significantly earlier than it would with traditional forms of construction. And our investments are really heavily reliant on taking that income as early as we possibly can. So that's been a key benefit at Greenford.
As an architectural practice, as designers ourselves, we see our projects realised much more quickly than we would do using more traditional methods of construction, and incredibly faithfully from the original design vision as well. Also on projects like Greenford, using a volumetric construction like Visions, we get to learn from our work. So we're now working on the 4th building within the Greenford Quay Master Plan. So we've really seen the benefits of a continuous process of improvement. Learning lessons through the design process and feeding back has enabled all of us to benefit from better outcomes.
With volumetric construction, there are less delay on a project because construction is much more streamlined, which means that a contractor would have less opportunity to claim for any delay, so extension of time and any additional costs resulting from the delay in construction, as well as any changes in the design itself, which means there's less claims for cost increases under a contract, which in most construction projects is the particular issue, particularly in relation to final account claims. So the benefit of volumetric construction is that there's more certainty in terms of cost.
The sustainability benefits of using volumetric construction are the net zero carbon agenda in terms of embodied carbon in the volumetric process, and also the circular economy aspect in terms of reusing and minimising waste on these sites. At Tide, we've done a lot of work around the whole life carbon agenda, especially in relation to embodied carbon. Our research has found that embodied carbon is reduced significantly compared to traditional approaches, and also comparing favourably to Letty and REBA standards. Some of the social benefits of the volumetric process are associated with the disruption or the lack of it to the local community. There are less people on site, there are less deliveries, the process is speedier, so the impact on the local community is much less.
The greater benefit of volumetric construction is the return in investment and how quickly that return in investment happens. So when you look at traditional construction, there's a greater program in comparison to volumetric construction. So they could be looking at an earlier return on their development finance.
If you can build a building like Lyons Dock, the one we're in at the moment, in half the amount of time that you can build it using traditional construction, you can establish the community and you can start having rental income from your residents moving in much more quickly, and that obviously helps with the return on the original capital invested.
There's also the additional benefit for investor of cost certainty. So when they're funding a particular project, they would know exactly at an earlier stage of how much that project is going to cost in comparison to traditional build.
The benefit for investors is our relationship with Tide on volumetric construction over a number of projects at Greenford and elsewhere means that we can agree a contract sum much more quickly, and that safeguards the investment return.
There are lots of other benefits around quality. If you can deliver a higher quality outcome, which means you have perhaps fewer problems of management and maintenance over time, that can be a real benefit, perhaps more difficult to kind of determine in the short term. So I think that a wide range of benefits from an investor point of view, but speed I think must be the first, quality the second, and I think increasingly sustainability, a reduced impact in terms of carbon, embodied carbon in the delivery of the building, and potentially longer term reduction in energy and carbon in the management and running of the building, I think increasingly is going to be of interest to the customers who are renting their homes here.